We are currently at capital adequacy of 12.9% approximately. This should take us to little over 15%, and the money shall be utilized for growth, for meeting future Basel III capital adequacy requirements, and for investments that we are making across the platform. Yeah, so that's essentially it. What was the other question?
Right. How do you see the operating leverage in fact kicking in?
So the operating leverage, if you see in terms of return on equity, in terms of cost income ratios, and some of the other parameters, have already been improving over the last 3 years steadily. And so as the franchise grows and as different businesses achieve what I call escape velocity, you know, the natural effects of scale and benefits of scale are kicking in, and that, you know, we are now, I would say, fairly advanced in terms of our corporate business, commercial banking business, in terms of our development banking and financial inclusion business, and in terms of our technology-led payment services. Now those, if I may say, points of sale can now be utilized to extend other banking services. So that's a future huge growth area. In terms of our retail lending, we have been somewhat soft in the past. We are building the platform, we are putting the risk management apparatus in place. So we were doing all the right things to be able to then lift the business. And as of the last couple of years, it's been growing very nicely. So this will also, as I said, you know, cross that threshold of scale sooner or later. So as all these businesses continue to grow, you will see the leverage effect or the operating leverage effect kicking even more strongly going forward in the future.
That's great. So what about your entire asset mix? We have seen a good amount of positive change. Your corporate as well as the SME mix has come down. Your retail as well as MFI has gone up. Is there further scope to further change this asset mix? And how do you see this change in the asset mix in fact impacting your margins?
Yeah. So this is a natural evolution and progression of how we have sort of managed our various businesses. We started with the corporate commercial banking businesses first, then we entered the development banking, financial inclusion and agri space, and then, like I said earlier, we are then going more into the retail lending space. So in accordance with the underlying, if I may say, character of these businesses, you know, the latter businesses, which are the more retail type businesses, are higher yielding, and there is also greater growth potential. So the mix will obviously change a little more favorably in that direction, and the wholesale and non-wholesale businesses will come more in balance as we go along, and that will also improve our if I may say, return on assets and other ratios.
What about your strategy in terms of the CASA itself? You're seeing the CASA ratio somewhere around 80% and there are of course plans to even further improve your branch mix, and you're investing in technology. How will all these factors lead to improvement in the CASA ratio, and what is the kind of deposit book that you see going ahead?
So we have a current CASA of just under 19%. The CASA in absolute terms has grown at a CAGR of 45% over the last 5 years and continues to grow. Yeah, and therefore I'm pretty satisfied, you know, so far in terms of how the CASA situation has panned out. Going forward, the way we are doing, you know, so the whole the distribution-based technology-led banking services is a business which will create a lot of float benefits for the bank. As we have put out many of our banking APIs out in public domain, which has resulted in many fintech, e-commerce and other wallet companies to bank with us directly, and that also therefore generates a lot of float that, you know, remains with us as more and more people use our gateway to send their remittances. And again, we have a leading position in that space in the country in terms of the volumes that we are already handling in terms of transaction volumes. That also generates float and some fee income. So these are areas which, as we grow the franchise, as we build more branches, as we activate more alternate channels, will, you know, affect the current account side, which is important. On the savings account, as you know, we have a differentiated rate strategy. We do give a very attractive rate, and that has led us to, you know, grow a very rapidly, at least the savings account base. So that has been growing at a very, very rapid clip. So we'll maintain that for some more time to get more mileage out of it.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ET Now Live. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ET Now.